Today is Saturday, July 20th, and I'm here on Fort Myers Beach. And it's a little after 2 o'clock. I got here late because there was a high tide was at 12 noon. I knew if I came out here, then I would be restricted to driving on the road. So it's one of those really high tides though. So it's not scheduled to be low until like almost 8 o'clock at night. So we'll see. I already looked coming here across Hurricane Pass, and the water still looked pretty high. Anyway, and there's also a rainstorm straight ahead of us. There's a rainstorm. It's brewing somewhere down by San Carlos, and it's coming this way. And I didn't fix my brakes again. Terrible. I always want to do that, but I always want to do that at the same time I want to come to the beach. So I'm just gonna have to order a new brake system. You just can't order a brake pad; it may not fit, so you have to order a whole brake. So they're not that expensive. I'm gonna do it now before I have a feeling right after the elections there's gonna be enormous amounts of tariffs and trade protection going on between the United States and China. So if you want to buy something from China, do it now, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of protectionism to come right after the election, all the way until Trump's inauguration. So anyway, things down here at the beach look pretty chipper. I don't know. Everything looks well groomed. I can tell that the way everything looks well groomed, everyone has optimism, and both these mobile home parks that are for sale, the ground was nicely combed, and grass is growing in it, and they cut the grass. It looks really nice. And the mobile home park across the street at the foot of the bridge here, I see more manufactured homes are moving in, and it's starting to look, people already forgot about the hurricane. That's a good thing, because Fort Myers Beach will definitely come back online full before Sanibel does. But once Fort Myers Beach, once there's a run on beach property, everyone's going to take a second look on Sanibel. So if you want to get in, getting in now is the time. I thought it wouldn't happen until October or September, but well, not really September, because that's still hurricane season. Like October, November. But it looks as though the optimism is starting to take hold, and I don't know why, if people are just coming down here because they want to, secure a piece of safe Florida, or they think interest rates are going to fall and real estate prices are going to skyrocket. I think that has something more to do with that. They want to get themselves out of the stock market and put themselves into real property while interest rates are still high and real estate prices are not really low. But when interest rates fall from 9%, they're going to lock in a nice, they're going to have a run of appreciation for 5-6 years. So I don't know. I still think there's a bubble coming. I think we're going to have if the correction already, I'm pretty sure the correction's happening now, actually. But it may be just a short correction, because this Trump enthusiasm, if it's taking hold early, this could spawn a rally across all sectors of the economy, including real estate. The stock market may go down a little bit, but this Trump enthusiasm, the Trump effect, it could just completely eliminate any type of correction and cause a massive surge in buying optimism. And that's what it looks like. It looks like that's what's happening. People are not going to Europe because of the World War III that the Europeans are trying to push themselves into, and they're spending more money here. They're rediscovering America, and that's a good thing. Anyway, I noticed that everything is just looking very, very nice, and it's not because it rains here, and it does rain every day. It looks like people are taking the extra effort to make it nicer. I've seen people paint their buildings. It's the little things that count. They're cleaning up the junk around their place. They're cutting their lawns. They're edging it really nicely. They're throwing away extra stuff that was accumulated. They have had a future purpose for it, but now they discovered it looks like garbage, so they're throwing it out, which is smart. They want to get rid of the old and get in with the new. So this beach parking lot looks pretty full. I'm looking at the water right now. It does look kind of high on the Gulf side. The Bay side still looks high. Both Hurricane Pass and Matanzas Pass look kind of high, but not as high as they could be. This high tide was a 3.1 foot high tide. No, excuse me, 3.6, and that's pretty high. That's 3.6 over 3.6 feet over how much mean tide. Not mean high tide. The clock over there says 2:05, so 5 minutes after 2. Anyway, breeze coming out of the south. Looks like about 3 to 5 knots. It's pushing a lot of these rain clouds that would normally hit the beach. The convergence zone is on San Carlos Boulevard, pretty close to Walmart. That's where you're going to see the convection currents. And, the clouds are forming. I'm looking back over there. Yeah, it's forming a wall of clouds. That's usually what happens. And then that wall of clouds will dissipate. It'll backfill. It'll definitely hit my house off of Winkler Road, and it will then push itself towards the beach as it grows in intensity, and it will aim for the beach and produce, and then those clouds, the wind of the rain, the downpour, the downdrafts will then edge out the southerly breeze, and then they'll take control. They'll push themselves more so towards the west, not really towards the south, but it will angle a little bit towards the southwest. That's how it works. So that guy got himself a nice parking spot. He parked right there where normally realtors would hang out. That's a free spot he's got. These 3 cars over here got themselves a nice spot. Right hand side, right near the swimming pool. It says for sale, Section 21. I was going to come to the beach earlier, and I should have. I really wanted to get here around 8 o'clock. Low tide this morning was at 5 a.m. and high tide was at 12 noon. So if I got here at 8, it would have been a rising tide, but I probably could have still bicycle on the beach. But one of the things I want to do is I want to videotape people on the beach. That's what makes it exciting. I mean, I pretty much bicycle the same old route when I come on Fort Myers Beach. It's kind of boring, so the only thing different is the different people on the beach that I videotape. So I was actually going to go out to Centerville today, but I thought, I don't know, there's something inside me said, nah, don't take a risk on that road. The problem with the Centerville Causeway and Summerlin leading up to Centerville is that there's 3 choke points on Summerlin. These are the old checkpoints that they'll prevent traffic from going forward, and they never remove their so-called Jersey barriers on the shoulder of the road. So for bicyclists, it does not impede motorists, but for bicyclists, it forces you to drive into the road. And when cars are zipping by you, let's face it, at 75, 80 miles an hour, and Summerlin there the right-hand lane is not like, it's not an oversized lane like a lot of highways that are in urban areas. They make the right side 3 feet wider because they know there's going to be cyclists or scooters or other slower moving vehicles that they want, to give a little distance between the cars and the traffic. But no, Summerlin, it's like evenly spaced, the left lane, right lane. So you just never know. I mean, a person could be driving on their phone, not paying attention, and if you hit one of those Jersey barriers that's about 100 feet long, there's 3 of them. And I have to bicycle like this on the Summerlin, and Summerlin is just a little bit wider than this lane here. No, not with 75, 80 mile per hour traffic. So I try to get out on Sanibel Causeway sometime between, 10 o'clock would be late because I like going for like a 4-hour ride there, but I try to get out early so I can hit the lighthouse somewhere between, if I leave at 7:30, then I kind of get into like this lull, and then as soon as I get on Sanibel, bingo, that's when the traffic starts picking up. But I said, no, not today, maybe next weekend. I mean, I just went there 2 weekends ago, and it hasn't much changed. Although there is tomorrow, and high tide, low tide is not till 2. I take that back. Low tide is at 7 in the morning again, but it's like at 7 at night, and high tide is like at 2. So if I bicycle anywhere tomorrow, I definitely won't be able to go on any beach. I won't be able to go on Fort Myers Beach. I won't be able to go on Sanibel. So, and it's a really high tide. Just like today, it was really high tide. The tide is receding right now because high tide, the maximum high tide was at 11:58. So it's 2:05. So it's 2 hours. But this is the big tide, not the second tide. This I should say this first tide is the big tide, because there could be 2 tides, and the second tide could be the higher tide. But no, the higher tide was the first was the bigger of the 2. It's okay. So I'm looking at the surf, and the way people have positioned their umbrellas, their chairs, their campsites. It looks like that the tide hasn't moved much since it was at its apex 2 hours ago. Just hoping that the good thing about coming now in a receding tide is that the tide has already pounded the beach and hardened that area that it was on. So it should make a nice bicycling area. Should have firmed up the beach a bit. That's what I'm hoping. So the pirate boat, it does have an evening. I'm pretty sure the evening one doesn't happen for another 2 more hours. So there's some haze out there. I could see Sanibel, but it's hazy. It's not as vivid as it would be. And you can see that the seaweed is spread out, so that's an indication of a receding tide. The tide was pretty high though, so you can tell where it was on the left-hand side. That's how high the tide was 2 hours ago. So the beach here is still kind of soft, wet. So in other words, high tide was 2 hours ago, but the tide has only receded from that mark maybe only a half hour ago. So I'm bicycling on beach that has just been exposed for the last half hour, because probably an hour after the high tide, it stayed high. It's one of those things where the tide stayed there. And that's normally what happens when you have a high tide like this, 3.6 feet. Look. Okay, look at me like I look listening. I have a red shirt on, so look at this. I have my Nike black hat on. Got some black Nike trunks. I have Asus shoes. I should have Nike. I should do full attire, but maybe if Nike sees my shoes, they could send me a pair. This is pretty nice. So obviously I'm going to be bicycling this way on the way back because I know the tide's not coming in. I know it's going out. Yeah, it pays to look at the tides before you come to the beach, especially if you're bicycling. So the beach is pretty full. So people have had their lunch and now they're out at the beach. Looking at the pools. Big shell pools look awesome. A lot of people are wanting to rent wave runners. Especially waiting. So a lot of people are very friendly. They're waving, they're smiling. So I'm just in a really good mood. You can see the waves that are coming close to shore. They're being pushed by the wind. And for a tide that's going out, it usually doesn't. That would actually cause a higher tide as well. So the waves are kind of bunched up, you can see. And you usually don't get this type of wave action when the tide is going out. You'll get a subtle, like almost a benign waves, almost placid. But in this case, since the wind is coming from the south, which is directly to my right, yeah, it's pushing the water. The water's receding, but the wind is blowing it in the opposite the way it's receding. So it's bunching up waves, which makes it real inviting. In other words, it's turning up a lot of the sand, a lot of sandbar sand, and it's going to expose a lot of seashells. So tonight, when the tide goes out fully by 7 p.m., there will be a bounty of seashells to be found. Probably the same on Sanibel. Sanibel is probably, because Sanibel is kind of like a rip current towards the wind and the tide, there's going to be, and it's going to be a large low tide, but it's only going to be, I think it said 0.3 positive. So it's not going to be, it's still going to be higher than normal, but it's not going to be like an extreme low tide. I can remember those extreme low tides. Normally this area of the Gulf, though, you're always going to get a positive. You're never going to get a negative number for a low tide. So it's just the way the wind is blowing and the rotation of the earth. It's always in the positives. So this side of the Gulf, the water level is higher than the east coast of Florida. It's just the way it is, the way the wind blows. It's blowing all the way across from Texas all the way to here, usually in this direction. And, it just pushes and bunches the water up. Plus, the Mississippi River adds to the longshore current. It just increases the water level on this side of the Gulf of Mexico. But when you do have an extreme low tide, like I've seen a -3, the water goes out. The water is about 4 feet lower than it is right now. Literally 4 feet lower. And you can see the first sandbar is totally exposed. And even the second sandbar, some of it is exposed, if not all of it. Or if you walk out to it, it's only 1 inch deep. And that's where you're going to find your sand dollars. And so we're passing Best Western, what that's called, but it's looking like it's ready to open. Looks like all the construction's done on it. They have to make the gazebo by the pool, and they already have umbrellas. I would say it's just a matter of time before they take down that fence. I mean, it's perfect for a casino right now. You can see rain there on Lover's Key straight ahead through all that haze. Straight ahead, that's the South Fort Myers Beach. People must have just moved here because I'm walking. People are hot with sunblock 70 on. want to make sure I was protected. This morning around 8 o'clock there was a couple cloud layers moving through the area, so it wasn't that sunny. About an hour ago though, it was almost, well, it wasn't clear because there were cumulus clouds inland, but it was clear on the beach. There was no clouds on the beach. So the clouds ahead of us just formed, moved from inland onto the coast over the last half hour. It's supposed to rain at noontime today. And there are parts of Fort Myers where it is raining. Small rainstorms, not big. We're not going to go long today. We'll probably just go down to Jump Route, come back, and then bicycle down the road a little bit. Sorry. Downshift. I didn't have control. I should have downshifted earlier. Do keep an eye out for little children. I know they like to run in front of the bike. A lot of them think I'm just like an older person who can't pedal, but no, I could. When I apply the pedal, I could fly with the bike on the boost. I can go from 0 to 8 miles an hour within 2 seconds. Anyway, I'm upset with myself I didn't get out earlier. I took a look at my house number 1. I wanted to see if I needed to mow the lawn. I just got a remote control in the mail for the garage door. So I'm excited to go back there and program it. I have a remote control, but it's one of those ones where, I don't know, the battery is kind of loose. I have to fudge it. The push button thing, I don't think the whole piece of plastic that makes contact is, I think it's worn. That's just like the scene. Alright, so we're coming up to Margaritaville. Again, this is only like a 3-star resort. This is not no 5-star. I think Pink Shell and Margaritaville are. I would almost give Pink Shell still an edge over Margaritaville. It's just that Margaritaville is newer and the pool is so much nice. But the way you park your cars is not that nice. But it has a nice location. I just wish there was a 7-Eleven in front of it. There's my football. It's nice. So there's boats here. That's an indication that there's bathrooms on shore again. This is excellent bicycling. Terra Firma. We're putting the shovels in the beach. I haven't seen the tuba guy. I haven't seen the ice cream guy yet, but I know they happen here. I haven't seen the sandcastle guy, so he may be coming tomorrow. I still see a lot of people who take their phones with them. I have my phone. I'm actually using my phone as a camera right now, so yes, I do have my phone. But if I wasn't bicycling, my phone would be. I probably still would have it on me, but I wouldn't have it out and be using it. These people that are in the water drinking a beer, you run the risk of accidentally dunking yourself and dunking your phone. But it's awesome. I like how people are out in the water drinking. At one time, there was a trend, and they tried to get Fort Myers Beach into a closed optional beach. It didn't take. But I do see a lot of people that are pushing that envelope though today. This is something though. Rarely do I see like groups of women walking. I see women walking with men, or maybe a straight woman, but it's rare to see groups. And today, I've seen a lot of groups of women walking together without men. Just something noticeable. But I'm seeing a lot of people in the water right now. I see people playing volleyball in the water. That's awesome. I'm sweating. It's hot. It must be about 97 degrees. Here's the guy with the ice cream. The water is rolling off me. So here's the tidal pool. You can see this little inlet here. Again, probably within the last half hour, that's when the water retreated. And that water is becoming red hot. The beach patrol shadowing me. He's looking at me, now he's shadowing. It's that noise, that 4x4 you hear. That's him. But bringing the, I mean, people still bring umbrellas to the beach, but I'm noticing a trend. More people are bringing their beach tents, the little gazebos and beach tents. It makes more sense. If you're going to spend the whole day at the beach, you want a place where you could, if the sun's too intense, you want a place to cool down, but if you're going to pay $20 all day to park, you want to stay here all day. Yeah, here's another inlet. See, this is nice. That water there is red hot. So if you want to sauna bathe, you could lie in that little inlet water. It'll get you red hot. The Gulf temperature is probably about 80 something, maybe 86. So it'll cool you down, that's for sure. And the deeper you go, the farther out you go, the deeper it gets, the cooler the water is. The shallower the water is, the hotter the water is. Obviously heat rises, so to get cool, that's why people dunk themselves all the way up to their shoulders, and you'll still get a sunburn in the water like that. Even if your neck, your shoulders are submerged underwater, you will get a sunburn because with the added salt, the sunshine, forget it. It's basically lowering the sunburn temperature, the sun necessary to burn you. We're going to go down to the radio tower there. Awesome. I'm glad I waited a little bit. I was going to come out here at 11 o'clock in the morning, but then it would have been a rising tide. And I would have not been able to ride the beach. There's still an option. I can come out later tomorrow. If I come out I don't want to come out too late because then you're not going to have anybody on the beach or you have rainstorms. So that's the issue with tomorrow. I'm leaving it open though. There was, let's see, if I counted all the garage sales this morning, between Craigslist and CapeCoral.net, there was 12 sales. Of those 12 sales, 4 of them happened yesterday. So you can almost cross them off. They sold all their good stuff yesterday. So that left 8, and those 8 garage sales were spread out all over Cape Coral. I mean, literally, Northwest Cape, Northeast Cape, and the farthest reaches you can go. And I plotted a map the best I could for the most efficient, fuel efficient, least amount of distance, and it was still like 70 miles or so, 70 miles in 3 hours. And I said, you know what, just for 8 garage sales going all that distance, if they were all bunched together, I would have gone garage selling. There was 4 of them in the Southeast Cape, which weren't really bunched together, but I was even thinking about going bicycle garage selling this morning. I went out for a short cruise at 7 a.m. check out McGregor. There was absolutely no garage sales in McGregor. So because I chose that route, there's no garage sales, so I didn't take a video garage sale. And then tomorrow, there's only one garage sale scheduled to happen tomorrow, so forget it. If there was a garage sale happening on the Fort Myers side next to my house, I would go to it, but it's not even worth making a video, even just for one. Even if it's a really good garage sale, unless I find, like, I'm looking for an excavator, like one of those really tiny 1-ton excavators that they sell in China for like $1,000. Although of course you have to bring it through customs and they charge you 25% excise tax. So and then other fees and filing fees, and eventually it comes up to $500 in tax and fees. If you pay $1,000 for something from China, they're going to charge you $500 in fees and taxes, and that doesn't include storage if they have to store it, or transportation if they have to move it. Like they say that they could move it to the post office by you, which would be helpful, but they would charge me a storage fee, which I don't know. I kind of want to go to a Miami auction and see if I can buy these things. I wouldn't even mind paying like an extra $200 or $300 more if I can get it past customs, like in Miami. Just pick it up on a trailer and go with it. But I don't think they would do that. I think there's inside people that already have the market wrapped up. Anytime something like that comes up for auction, the auctioneer notifies their third party or their best buddy, good old boys network, and that thing is scooped up and not offered to the public. So, but anyway, I've seen some really good deals on buying excavators from China. I just wish I could, I wish I was like in Texas somehow, and I could just, if they're letting all these illegals across the border, I wonder if they would let like a semi-truck and drive through the desert across the border with, but I mean, the Biden administration is causing so much crime, you wonder if people are getting away with something like that too. It didn't take long to get down here, and I'm on fourth gear, so mid gear. Very enjoyable. So there's that police, the old Lee County Sheriff. People are using the parking lot there to park for free. Maybe they saw my video last weekend. Here's Junkaroo Fresh Catch. And there's no evidence of rebuilding that. Fresh Catch should rebuild it. I mean, it would cost minimal for them to rebuild it. And true, the elevator's out, but they could just build a ramp. Just need to sweep the driveway. You don't have to put new asphalt down. I could hear thunder coming, which means that you hear thunder like that. Thunder shakes the clouds, makes it rain. The rain acts like lubricant and makes the cloud move. So when you hear thunder, thunder means that the cloud is on the move because it's shaking the cloud rains, rain causes wind has contact with the ground, causes pressure, high pressure precipitation, falling rain actually it forms high pressure, and it actually pushes the cloud because it backs up the air. The air is being pushed to the ground, and the top of the cloud fills it in, and causes the cloud to move. So it's going to move this way. So there's more thunder. So get down to the, as you can see, looking back towards Sanibel and back towards the west. We're looking kind of like at this angle, because Fort Myers Beach is kind of a crescent. We're looking more west-northwest right now. So due west would be that way. So we're going west-northwest. See, there's an office called Seagate. I really like that office too. I wish I could just slap my name on it. Resale Realty. That'd be sweet. But the old Lee County one, I like that. I like the location too. I mean, they don't have to move it. I could just. It looks like somebody already painted it because it wasn't the color brown. So somebody did paint it, which is a bad sign. That means somebody already owns it. It was white. It was white last week, so that's a bad indication that I lost that opportunity. And somebody was quicker than me. They probably saw my video. I saw my video, contacted Lee County Sheriff right then and there, and transacted a deal. Smart. You see right here, there's a sandbar that just is merging with the beach. That's being pushed on in. In the summertime, when you have less waves, now of course during a hurricane will, it all depends on how close the hurricane comes to the shore, whether it's on the landward side, the eye is on the landward side, or if the eye is over water like Ian, it builds the beach. If the eye is inland, like it goes over Route 41, then it will actually take away some of the beach. I have maybe a half knot headwind right now. So that's another beach patrol. There was someone else driving another 4x4. I didn't recognize that person, but I could tell the one in that beach patrol vehicle was a woman, the other one was a guy. I don't like that because they say no motorized vehicles on the beach, and then what are they driving? A motorized vehicle. It's gorgeous out right now. People are all friendly, all nodding, waving. I don't see a lot of tattoos though. That's the problem. I don't know why people have to waste money on tattoos unless they're going to be in combat. Like combat, like expected death. Tattoo stays with you for life, and there's no way your skin's going to repair itself. And you can't wish upon new technology to remove it either. Because normally they have to remove a tattoo, they have to kill all the pigment in your skin, and that causes problems. Now you have to definitely put on like sunblock 100, and you can't really get any sun. You have to stay in the shade. It really impedes your life from that point forward. Just to get a clear complexion, and your skin will be white, and it will keep on turning white, and sometimes you'll get dark spots on it, and so you'll have white skin with dark spots. It's best to let your skin not mess with your skin unless you have a severe maim. I can understand that. Like you fall off a motorcycle and your body's all mangled. And a tattoo may look better. I don't know. I mean, I know some people get tattoos when they have breast enlargement surgery, and I guess it would look kind of awkward if you don't have something. But I guess if you have cancer and you have to slice off some of your body, getting a natural the color of your skin. If they re-add the color of your skin, that to me sounds acceptable. But I don't know, making designs and patterns on your body like that and it stays there for life. I don't know. I can't understand that. It's just going to cause cancer. Anytime you have a dark filament on your body, you get sun on it, then it's going to cause cancer. It's going to get into your bloodstream. It's going to cause major havoc. Again, we're passing the Nautilus in. See, here's the beach patrol I saw. I don't know why they have two of these things on the beach. I mean, if they're lifeguards, beach patrol, I still don't understand that. But these people look like they want to write tickets, like they're police that want to write parking tickets, and they're here on the beach. It says, I don't see like paramedic or life-saving equipment on these beach patrols. I don't see it. So I don't think they should be on the beach. They should. Playing baseball out there more, the wiffle ball. I was upset with myself. I really wanted to come out earlier to the beach, but because of the tide deflated that enthusiasm. I mean, I was all set at 8 o'clock to come out to the beach. I looked at the tide. I'm like, oh no, it's rising. And I said to myself, I might be able to get a quick bicycle ride on the beach, but I'm like, do I really want it to be a quick bicycle ride? So I said, you know what? It was a slip around 2 o'clock. I said, this will be the ideal time for people and beach. I said, you have to work yourself in with it's salt life. You have to work yourself in with the tides. You just can't come out on your time frame. You come out on the tide time frame. Those are people who are tattooed up. I don't know. It doesn't look right. You have to like the tattoo, I guess. I don't know. I don't like tattoos. See, I don't like when people bring radios out to the beach either. I like listening to little kids having fun, the waves, the seagulls. I don't want to hear radio, or I want to hear nature. People bring out these blasting radios. It irritates me. So I discovered one thing. The battery I was going to buy for my hybrid, it's not a lithium iron phosphate battery. There's a new battery technology called sodium ion. The problem with sodium ion, well, it has a couple benefits. One, it charges faster. Two, it has a higher temperature range, so it won't burst into flames if it gets wet, like lithium will. Or like lithium, its danger zone is around 130 degrees, where the lithium sodium is about 140 degrees. And it has a lower operating range, so lithium will stop functioning like around 32 degrees, whereas the sodium ion will function down to minus 40. The bad thing about sodium ion is it only has half the recharging capabilities. So the lithium iron phosphate could be recharged 10,000 times, whereas the sodium ion can only be recharged 5,000 times. So obviously the warranty is a lot less. The lithium ion has a 10-year life warranty. The sodium ion only has 5-year life, and it costs about the same. So with that being said, I'm kind of hesitant now to buy it. And I also did some more research, and there's more options available for the lithium iron phosphate, which is better than a pure. It's a lot better than a lithium ion. The sodium iron phosphate has higher density, and that's another thing too. It has a higher energy density, the lithium iron phosphate, over the sodium ion. The sodium ion costs 1/10 though to manufacture, so I can see the benefit and why people are pushing it. So if it costs 1/10 to manufacture, it can operate in higher and lower temperatures, and it charges almost twice as fast. then I can see the benefit there. But because it only has half the life expectancy, 5,000 recharges, whereas lithium ion has 10,000, you know, if you think one day, each day is a recharge in your car, so your car drives 365 days, then it's probably more than that. But so that would be 3 years would be 1,000, a little over 1,000. So 5 years, no, it wouldn't be 15. So you have to factor that you'd probably operate your car 3 times a day. So that would be 5 years. So the lithium ion would last twice. The lithium iron phosphate would last twice that. Lithium iron would probably last 50% more. So there's some excellent. The sites out here are just phenomenal. It makes me want to just park my bike and walk the beach. We're playing Shania Twain at Margaritaville. Again, lots of people in the water here playing football. I see football. I see football season is just starting. So that's why people are playing football. I see people playing soccer, volleyball. Volleyball probably because of the Olympics in Paris. I haven't watched any of that. I haven't even watched the English Open. I forget how it's called. I used to play tennis all the time. I haven't played tennis like in 4 months. It's terrible. I want to play. I want to start playing again, but I'm still busy with projects. I got to make time. The nice thing about playing tennis is that your body is nice and tired. So in the evening, you can get a good night's sleep, and that's the key. You don't want to eat either after you play tennis, or else you'll get that leg fatigue where you get those cramps, and you won't be able to sleep. The bad thing about not playing tennis is that you feel hungry. If you're not playing tennis, what are you doing with yourself? You accidentally eat, and the next thing you know, you can't sleep. Or you get hot at night. The tide is still going out. It's going lower. A lot of people have their phones right at the water's edge. The people are sitting in the water right now. See how nice the water is bunched up? It's really making it for a real enjoyable low tide. It feels like a high tide, but it's low tide. There's thunder behind me. Head down Cerro Boulevard too to check it out. It's just gorgeous. The beach is awesome. The third beach patrol. Dude, why do you need so much beach patrol? I mean, I don't see medical. I don't see lifeguard. I just see people driving on the beach having a good time. Sorry. I saw him coming too, but I thought he would see me. And that's the problem. My brakes don't work. I pulled the brake that doesn't work. People are looking at me like it's my fault. I almost hit them. That's the thing about little kids. You have to keep an eye on them because they're not raised correctly and they want to jump underneath car tires and kill themselves.
regardless if they're cognizant of what they're doing or not. They're not cognizant. They may think they're cognizant, but they're not. That's the scary thing about those type of kids. So this building here, they redid all the screens on the outside, and they're fixing the concrete. So they stripped everything down basically. They're sandblasting it, and they're putting in concrete and troweling that in. I personally didn't see the need to do that, but oh well. We could have turned off the beach there, but we're gonna go a little further because the beach is so beautiful here. One last opportunity here. We're in high school drinking. I see no problem with that. I remember when the drinking age in Florida was, you could drink when you were 16. That was so much fun. You could drink and drive. Before 1985, before July 1st, 1985, there was no problems. It seems like the United States went nanny state right at July 1st, 1985. Because before July 1st, 1985, you didn't have to have a real estate license to do real estate. You didn't have to have an insurance license to do insurance. You could drink and drive. You could just enjoy yourself. And Florida had so much prosperity. And then after July 1st, 1985, all that fun-free lifestyle came to a crashing halt. And it's like the police state just like expanded exponentially overnight. There's more laws and more regulation, less freedom, and more police encroachment on your civil liberties. It's just horrible. It's still like that. The sad thing is that you have to actually take a vacation outside of America to understand what freedoms you've lost. Because, okay, this is hard enough otherwise. I've been to Russia actually. I've been to the Caribbean, and there's a give and take. I mean, in Russia, there's the mafia is there. You can see people that want to kidnap people. And that's what I'm saying about mafia. It's that underworld, the criminality. It's open. When there's less police around to protect you, the mafia is the police. They are out and about. But it's the same thing in the third world. In the Caribbean, everyone around you is a potential criminal. If you look like you got money, you're gonna become a target. You'll be a victim, a number, a crime statistic. So, but on the same token, like drinking in the Caribbean, there's a law that says you can't drink and drive, but they don't enforce it. So everyone drinks and drives. And you know what? I don't see I don't see any type of like additional fatalities due to that. I see the fantastic fatalities, cars that spin off the road, crash and die, but those are the same fatalities you see in America. People drink and drive and do narcotics and get into fantastic accidents. It's the same percentage. So with or without a law, decent people, you don't need a law to tell them not to do things crazy. And crazy people, regardless whether there's a law or not, they're going to do things crazy. So it all boils down to the individual. Society shouldn't be penalized because a couple of rotten eggs are going to stay rotten. They're going to be rotten whether they're told not to be rotten or whether they're told to be rotten. They're going to be rotten. It's like the Democrats. They're going to be rotten. You can't tell them to be nice. They're going to be rotten. They're going to steal your money. They're going to put all the illegals in. They're going to post interest rates at 9%. They're going to try to start World War III. That's what the Democrats want to do. They want to destroy things. They don't care. They don't care whether it's good or not. They have a demented head. And then they blame the Republicans for all the problems that they cause. I mean, they've been doing it ever since I've been alive. Every election, Jimmy Carter, again, I remember that, blaming Ford, couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and then Jimmy Carter would just blatantly cause criminality, and he was just too stupid or not man enough to man up to the problems that he caused. The clock there says 2:54. You see the Fort Myers Beach Pier is still in a destroyed look, although it looks nice. I like it. It's kind of antique looking thing. Without that pier there, this area is not a hotbed. In fact, they should make this whole area one big elevated mall. They should elevate the entire area here. Now that there's no road, there's no really obstructions, this whole area should be an elevated 20 feet high and packed in with food trucks and everything. So this is a single person acoustic band. I don't recognize the song. Then again, I've been out of songs since I've been out of college. I haven't been really listening to songs for the last 30 years. I've been out of college since '89, but I haven't really been listening to music since '95. So anything that happened after '95, I don't even know about. Yeah, I see some lightning straight ahead. Behind me it looks good, but actually, if I look to the south, it's starting to cloud up a little bit. Looking to the east here. Thank you. Should go on the street, but the street here is really narrow. It's just dangerous. Thank you. Wait for the elevator. I just walk up the stairs. Across the street, they're doing something, and it looks pretty interesting what they're doing. There's some lights going on inside. Looks like they're making it into like a nightclub. Looks really interesting what they're doing across the street. Almost looks like a gambling pavilion, which would be totally awesome if they did that. It looks like they have a bar, and then it looks like they have betting tables. So here's Margaritaville Pool, crowded. People are really enjoying themselves, and I like how there's not like a capacity limit. Smell the chlorine, so the pool is nice and chlorinated, and it smells like a salt water system too. So the water is heated. The salt water system I put on my pool, the average water temp now is 89 degrees, so it's perfect to step right on in. There's no chill factor. Right here at the old, it looks like Leaky Tiki is moving back to the beach because they're trying to sell the place on San Carlos Boulevard where Leaky Tiki is located, and they have a beautiful building there, but just nobody goes there. They're all here at the beach. Sorry, thank you. So it looks like Leaky Tiki, one of these properties is going to be Leaky Tiki again. They better get started because if Leaky Tiki is aiming to get in on spring break again, and again, spring break is like, well, it's not really spring break. It's the winter, the snowbirds. That starts the weekend of Thanksgiving. So that's Black Friday. That's when people come down. The people who don't really celebrate Christmas, they're the ones who come down to Florida, and that's their Christmas. They don't celebrate Christmas up north or wherever. They come to Florida and enjoy themselves on the beach. And to tell you the truth, I'm not part of that crowd. I don't really. I'm an empty nester. My son and daughter, they're out with their families. If they invite me, I'll come. But well, anyway, for that one day, that's fine, but then what am I going to do? bought ice cream. Hey, might as well make do with if this is real estate. Let's put it to good use. I'm surprised though they're allowed this. See golf carts for sale. Smart. And then here's the place I want to go and join partnership with. Ojo's. They have all this real estate. I don't think they're utilizing this correctly. I'm not going to go down and take a look at that. I'm going to be really upset because that Lee County Sheriff's 2-office mobile home, I really wanted it. That's the problem. I don't have enough money to just openly buy stuff without worrying about it, without worrying about that 9% interest rate. Wish I had a little bit extra in the bank. I probably do have enough. I probably could, if I really wanted to pull the trigger. I probably could, but that would leave me with operational income or financing that would be. It would have to be a perfect scenario. I would have to. So it looks like there's a note on this building, this blue building, that they want $2.3 million for. It looks like there's a red notice on it, like they're going to demolish it, which I don't like to see because I think the building has potential, but not at $2.4 million. It does not have potential at that price. You better knock it down. And if you knock it down, now you're knocking the value down to $500,000, destroying all that equity. It's no good. They should have just dropped their price down to $1 or $2 million and sold the darn thing. Like this place here. This Lee County, they want $20 million for this building here and that building there and all land in between. $20 million for this building, this paver driver lot, parking lot, and that building over there. What is that? $20 million? I don't see it. I don't see $20 million. I mean, I see a house over there with a big garage, and because it has a garage, I know it's a single-family house. I don't see no $20 million on it. And the sad thing is that someone probably did that. If that was, I mean, maybe they made that into. See here, people are parking here, which is smart. They're getting away with it, free parking. Name this place now. Anyway, you can see that rain coming this way. That's rain on South Fort Myers Beach, probably down by Lover's Key. So this is the place that used to be at the Beached Whale on the left-hand side. It's Divas and Dolls, whatever they're called. And there's a couple locals that are hanging here, but you know, you're not gonna make that much money if just locals are hanging out. And then there used to be Beach Connection over here on the left. The building's gone, thank goodness. But now the property is even worth less. There's some guy trying to charge $20 for parking. He's getting it, but you know what? You're not going to make an arm and a leg charging this much. Way out here. I mean, okay, there's 30 cars here. That could be 30 times 20. That could be $600. I mean, $600 is still $600, but you're going to need that every single day. This is a Saturday, so on the weekdays, I doubt they have anybody. Keller Williams, I'm always impressed by them. They always seem to do everything right. They have this nice piece of real estate, beautiful view of the water. They have a nice double wide. I'd like to buy this. See how they have an aluminum ramp? I like that. And I don't know how they get away with it because I'm pretty sure that if the building is not fixed in the ground, it's illegal. I don't know if they're just paying the fine and just getting away with it or what. But I was always told that it has to be a fixed. Your real estate office has to be a fixed construction. Maybe they did away with that. I have to read the real estate book again. Anyway, people are parking there at the old Beach Connection. They're smart. But this is the Nautilus. I keep on forgetting this hotel's name. But still, there's no sign of them redeveloping for power power is still attached to the building, which is miraculous. But it's attached in a I wouldn't say it illegal, but it's attached in a non-conforming way. So obviously they can't open this place. And you first have to have power restored to this building before you can renovate. You need power to renovate. If they try to renovate here without power, they're gonna have to put portable generators in, which they probably have to do. But see, people are parking here. This is nice. But if you park over here in the street, you gotta pay $5 an hour. Even though the street's got no parking sign. Okay, so we have to cross the street here because we're coming up upon Diamond Head sidewalk. I hate this sidewalk coming up. We just passed the Shamrock Inn, and this used to be Armando's Day Spa. Sad. Those were nice places. They were here for the longest while. Armando's was like the new person on the block. They started, I think, sometime around '89 or whatever it was. But the Shamrock was here, wow, long before that. It's sad to see Ian just kind of like wipe the slate clean, just took them all out. And straight ahead, that used to be Domino's Pizza, where Tri-Power Real Estate is. Domino's Pizza. See, a 20-foot storm surge still. The second floor here got inundated. 10 foot, they would have been all right. 20 foot, they still got inundated. Diamond Head, their elevators got destroyed and everything on the ground floor got destroyed, but they're at least 20 feet up. So you can see people are parking here. Looks like their ice bag leaked. But this used to be the video store. I forget what it was called now. And this property on the right-hand side is owned by Diamond Head, so if you're caught here, they could tow you and ticket you. But people are parking, I can tell. You're supposed to have a Diamond Head like ticket in your windshield to let them know that you're staying here at Diamond Head. See, even it says here, resort guests only, Diamond Head. But this piece of real estate here, they want $2.4 million in the destroyed state that it's in. They still haven't even fixed the roof. Sale by owner, but there's a red ticket here. So they're probably saying that this building is in violation of code, and usually a red thing means that you have 90 days. Yeah, demolition notice. Yeah, that's what it normally means. You're past the point. You're past where it was in violation. You were notified. It went into from white. It went to yellow status, and then it went to pink status, and then it goes to red status. You get red. It's going to be demolished in 90 days, and there's, arbitration means you got to pay right now, and you probably have to pay a big penalty too, because they probably already hired the demolition company. So, white means it's okay to occupy. It means occupy at your own risk. It doesn't mean they're not guaranteeing it's safe. They say occupy at your own risk. Yellow means you're in violation. You have 90 days to bring up the code. So I don't know about occupancy. I don't think you can occupy it. And pink means you're in violation. You have 90 days to bring it back into compliance immediately, or else it's going to go into red status, which goes into demolition mode. So I don't like the fire marshal or the building permits or whatever they do. They have too much power in this area. This building on the right-hand side, they really fixed it up. Again, Kia Estero, I really wish I could make this into a casino. I mean, it's got the parking for it. 24/7 casino. I mean, it's got the post office on one side. They wouldn't complain. They wouldn't complain. This apartment building may complain, but the Kia Estero shopping center is sitting on one of the best pieces of property. I mean, yeah, Margaritaville got the best property, don't get me wrong. But Kia Estero, because of all the parking it has and the potential, that large building, it has that potential whoever owns this parking lot, they're charging $30 to park on the left-hand side. They also have some vending machines and a restaurant on the beach, so they're subsidizing their income, not just with $25 a day for today. So if they're charging 25, everyone else can't charge more than that. They're charging 20. So I thought the guy saw me. I raised up my hand to say, "Thank you for letting me in." He's about to run me over. Yo Taco used to be right here. They moved to Times Square, and they have less business now in Times Square, which is sad. Whoever takes over the old Palaka location on Times Square, they're going to make money there. Although it's hard to say if they're going to make money if they want to sell that location for like $3 million. $3 million, wow. You have to sell a lot of tacos. So this is the old 7-Eleven we're just passing on the right. Over here is the old beach whale. And then there's property on the left-hand side, which is for sale. 2 lots. Right now they're not really using it. I would think that Margaritaville would buy this property because it just coincides with their location. They should be buying all the property there. Margaritaville needs to put in a parking garage, which I think is what the old Silver Sands, what we're passing by right now on the right, that they bought for $7.1 million. That's their parking lot. And this property right here, a surf club, which used to be Waffle House, is an excellent piece of property, but they want $8.9 million. What the hell? I mean, what's all that about? This place here, they're putting in some nice lighting inside. They have nice cameras outside and nice lighting outside. It looks like it's going to be a bar/gambling. It looks really exotic inside. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, it was a little, it's weird because of the tides today. If the tide was lower earlier, I would have came out earlier, but because it was high tide at noontime, I didn't want to have another video where I'm just bicycling down the beach on Cerro Boulevard. Not that that's not fun. I like doing it, but everyone wants to see the people on the beach, so. Lighthouse Resort. This is where it's not necessarily my hangout, but I do like hanging out here. This is my preferred hangout. I haven't really been to Margaritaville's restaurants or bars yet. I have to do that one of these days. But this place is just so inviting. Anytime we're, even right after the hurricane, they're still open. Which is so nice because I came here to watch the hurricane come in the night before. Which is sad because they only got wiped out. And this place was still open, Hurricane Eve, when Hurricane Ian came through. Sad. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time.